to Tomboy Tirade. This is a special podcast that we do every fortnight on the Tomboy Tats blog. And I am Persis.
And I'm Sharon. And we have our producer Raven on the other room. Say hi, Raven.
Hi, guys.
Persis, why don't you just tell the audience what Tomboy Tats is all about?
I would say it's a woman or a female adult or a small girl who embodies the tomboy spirit. So you might be asking what the tomboy spirit is. Sharon, you want to explain?
Well, tomboy spirit is all about things that we think are not very, very girlish. I mean, we like to have the simplicity and a little bit of masculinity, but it doesn't mean that we want to have a lot of frills. And we are all of those people, all of those females out there who are adventurous, we are free-spirited, we break the rules a lot of time.
We're a little rough on the edges. We're girls, you know, we like the usual girly stuff. We like gossiping, we like talking, we're very chatty and stuff. Problem is we're not really into, you know, the Barbie stuff, you know, because I remember when I was growing up, I was more into Lego and what was that little, you know, those toy soldiers on Toy Story. Those are my kind of toys, you know. I used to hate like dolls. You know, my mom used to say like every time she gave me a doll, have only a lifespan of like 2 days. And it got so bad, right, that she decided that every time I used to get presents as a kid, right, like especially if it was dolls, she would never give it to me. She would let me play it for the first hour, and then after that she'd put it back in the box, and then it would be in a display set somewhere for the next 10 years, untouched.
But you know what? I had dolls as well. Like, I had a Barbie doll at one point in time. I realized that I have no idea what to do with it. I mean, I would comb the hair, and that's it, you know. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this doll? You know, just comb the hair all the time. That's freaking boring, you know.
Exactly, and that's what the tomboy spirit is all about, destroying dolls. So Sharon, what are we going to cover most weeks on this podcast?
Anything and everything under the sun. So it could be media, it could be some form of cultural events, arts, music, technology, you know, movies, whatever it may be, you know. So anything that catches our fancy, that is what we're going to cover. But for today, I think for this particular podcast, we're going to cover a couple of shows that we stumbled upon and we have been following also, and one or two news items, and then we'll go on from there.
Okay, great. And so the first thing we're going to start off with is dun, 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 Game of Thrones. What do you think of the Game of Thrones season so far?
This is coming from a person who has never read the book. Okay, so you must understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
so
and we talked about this before. Sharon, you know, it's good not to read the book, right?
It's good not to read the book, yes. So then you have a different perspective. So then you watch it as an audience rather than the person who already know the book, and you're expecting a lot more things coming out of the series. The first season was awesome because it was moving at such a fantastic pace that you are catching your breath to understand where all these characters are going. Yeah.
And it's good also because it seemed like the story was moving somewhere. You had Robert Baratheon coming and visiting the Stark family, and then you had like this suspense and, you know, about King Joffrey's, you know, bullying attitude. You had this sense that the Lannisters were up to something, and the story was moving, you know.
And then came season 2.
Exactly. And it came in like an old man on a wheelchair, you know. It was completely like...
And then if that wasn't bad enough, season 3 came about.
Oh no.
What the hell was that?
Even worse. This one was like some Indian yogi sage, you know, about 100-year-old yogi sage. And it got so predictable because, you know, it came to a point where basically, you know, you kind of predicted that every episode you would get the action in the last 5 minutes of the show.
Yeah, the season is just way too slow. Even coming from a person who has never read the book, it's just way too slow. And everybody needs to understand, all of us here are all producers, so we know what the hell we're talking about.
Yep. We kind of know what the viewers want because, hey, we are viewers ourselves.
Exactly.
So we want to be entertained. But speaking about entertaining viewers, what did you think about the shocking, devastating episode from last week.
Oh
The
my
red wedding.
god, the red wedding! I did not see that coming. I was
Okay,
sitting
spoiler
in.
alert, okay, viewers? Spoiler alert, okay?
Yeah, so anyone who really by now hasn't watched the red wedding, please stop listening from now on, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so now the spoiler starts. So I was sitting in my chair just going like, oh, okay, the Starks are getting okay with these guys, what's his name? Getting on the...
Walden Frey.
Yes, Frey. And then they were getting the marriage thing, so I'm thinking, okay, yay, I'm gunning for Starks, they're gonna win the war, they're gonna get it over, done with, yay, yay, and everything. And then suddenly, the fuck, man? You stabbed, wasn't it Talisa first? In the baby womb, for crying out loud, of all places. And then you go and shoot Mom. And then you go and shoot Rob. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. And then Mom gets slit in the throat.
And then Mom gets slit in the throat. And then Rob got slit in the throat. And I'm sitting there going like, the hell, man, they're killing everybody.
But I kind of felt that something was going to happen when they came in the first time to meet Walden Frey, because he said that there was going to be a lot of red wine, It was already written in the script. Like, I was thinking, something really bad is...
I didn't catch that part, though. For me, it was like, I knew something was going to happen when they the bedding ceremony thing, after they brought out the uncle and the bride and groom out, and they closed the door and they started playing this ominous music. I knew something was like, what the fuck is going on? Something is going on somewhere.
I actually love what one Yahoo commenter said about that. He said that basically, the Stark should have actually gotten DJs instead of an orchestra. But seriously, after watching this, it kind of made me think about Indian arranged marriages. I'm serious. I am so scared about saying no to a potential bridegroom. Seriously, from now onwards, if I stepped on anyone's toes, I'm sorry.
Anyway, back to the red wedding. Okay, now here's the thing that I wanted to address is the fact that because it was so shocking, right? The whole internet world just went totally abuzz because of this red wedding thing. Everyone is just so shocked.
Yeah.
But they were saying that, oh my god, I hate this series. I don't want to watch it anymore. In my head, I'm like thinking, hello? This is a book. This is based on a book. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not.
And I'm really surprised because a lot of people actually have read the book. And, for them to actually act shocked is a bit dumb because basically, hello, you saw it coming in the book. Exactly. And basically, they did an interview with George R.R. Martin, who's the writer of the Song of Fire and Ice. Mm-hmm. And he said that he based the Red Wedding on an actual historical event that happened in Edinburgh, where basically the Earl of Edinburgh at the time was living in a castle called the Edinburgh Castle. He actually got killed, by his enemies, and till today they actually call it the Black Dinner. And that happened like way back in 1440. Mm-hmm. So he did say that, he understands that a lot of his readers would be pissed off with him killing characters off just willy-nilly, Mm-hmm. But he says that when he did research for the book and when he, scoured through all the history books and stuff, he said that real life history is actually more gory than his book.
I think it makes the entire series far more interesting now.
Yeah.
You've pretty much decimated the Stark family, right? And then you've got Sansa, you've got Arya, you've got Bran, Rickon, and Jon somewhere. Mm-hmm. around the entire area, and so now you're wondering what the hell is going to happen to them because now the matriarch is dead.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people are predicting for the last episode.
Right.
Basically, they say that basically Arya is probably going to still be sticking with the Hound, and Jon Snow and Bran might be reunited at the Wall. We don't know.
Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I think they should have ended the season there with the red wedding rather than having another episode, because then you just end on a really, really, really high.
I know, it's just an anticlimax, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an anticlimax having another episode. Then you go like, how are you going to beat that high?
I know.
So we'll see how it goes on the next episode. And anything goes from now on.
I just discovered about Discovery's dumbest new reality show. Did you hear about that? Naked and Afraid. Basically, the premise is pretty bizarre. So basically what happens is Discovery producers would probably like just drop a couple who've never met each other, a man and a woman, okay? For 21 days in some of the world's harshest environments, with nothing, with completely nothing.
And I mean, not even a fucking hell, stark naked.
Yes. Yeah.
Two completely different strangers, completely stark naked, stuck in the middle of nowhere.
And the premise of the show is, according to the Discovery website, is that basically they have to battle the elements and overcome their weaknesses.
The fuck?
They're just dropped there in some weird place, and they are expected to survive for like 21 days. They've got to make their own food, go find their own clothes and shit. And I'm thinking like, hey, if I'm a woman, I would need some, sanitary pads. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What are you going to use? Leaves? Banana leaves or what? Oh my God.
What the hell was Discovery thinking when they came up with the premise for this show? I mean, are they that desperate to get ratings now? I mean, have we come to a new low in television? And are we going to see more nudity in reality shows from now onwards, thanks to, all these cable shows that are getting all these high ratings? I mean, what the hell is going on with TV?
Oh my God, I have nothing to say about that. I mean, seriously. Okay, talking about really weird series, there's another one that's out there. It's called Run to the Scene. Race to the Scene, sorry. It's called Race to the Scene. Now, basically, it's kind of like Amazing Race set in movie sets. Yeah, so basically, they're going to have like all these couples, which is like three groups of people, three groups of couples actually. So they have to go through all these obstacles set in a movie set. So imagine if like you are in a set of, for example, the scene of Forrest Gump, that football scene where he was running through. So they're putting all these obstacle courses for you to catch the ball and then run through this obstacle course and then just, do all the tests and all that.
Okay, can you throw people?
No, not that I've seen before. I mean, I only saw like half of the pilot. So far, I've only seen them racing to be the first one to finish an obstacle course and win some points and win some money and win some games. Okay. So it's like an amazing race, so to speak.
But it's a film set. How far can you go?
Exactly my point.
Did you know that Paris Jackson, who's supposed to be in a movie, attempted suicide a few days ago?
Yeah, I read about that. I mean, oh my God, what is going on with the Jackson family?
I know. It's just so weird that after Michael Jackson died, right, the family just can't get away from the media with their with the recent like court case burning up the gossip pages a few days or a few weeks ago, and then Paris Jackson's attempted suicide a few days ago. Like, come on, girl, grow up. You are rich. You don't have any money worries.
I love MJ. I mean, I'm one of his biggest fans, but honestly, that family is just so toxic.
I think they're off the deep end. A lot of them are.
I would think that it's because of MJ being the cash cow that he is for his family. They kind of think that since he has died and everything, they wanted to get more out of him because, if I'm not mistaken, he actually willed his entire estate to his children. And I think a lot of these things kind of like put in a lot of pressure on the kids, which I do pity, to be honest. I mean, they're still children, technically. I mean, Paris is only 15.
I think that, it always happens with child actors or children of famous people when they actually have, when their parents die prematurely, like Whitney Houston's daughter is also in the gossip pages lately because she's been, So it's like they always have things around them, people around them. They have this enablers around them, people who telling them what to do, where to go, how to say things. They've never really had a mind of their own, which is why they go berserk after like when they turn 18. Life throws a lot of stuff. It just seems like it's so weird that these people, like these kids, haven't been given the right tools or been, set up with the right people to tell them what is the right thing to do. You just ain't to deal with in it for a movie, Paris Jackson, so you're going to have to deal with being in the limelight. Sorry!
Well, she has been somewhat in the limelight, somewhat. But seriously, she needs to buck up. Honestly, I think a lot of his father's fans out there, including myself, I would be quite disappointed that she actually decided to just throw her life down the drain.
To me, I wouldn't be surprised at all, really, because I mean that's the way she grew up, and that's what she's been seeing all the time. So. I wouldn't be surprised, but hey, let's do a number with Drew Barrymore. She actually, got out of all her problems and stuff, and she's pretty normal now.
Yeah. But then again, the other extreme is Lindsay Lohan. That girl, I tell you.
A different show altogether.
Yeah, so you got the two extremes, You've got your Drew Barrymore and you've got your Lindsay Lohan.
Okay, so that's all the news you can use for this week's Tomboy Tirade podcast. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
Sharon?
Yes, it has been. And
when will we be back for the next round?
We'll be back in 2 weeks. As how Persis has said it, it's going to be a fortnightly thing. So see you guys again in 2 weeks with a whole different type of topics that we're going to talk about. And to find out more about us, visit our site at www.tomboy-tarts.com. That's tomboy-tarts.com.
Yes, we shall see you in the Boxers Ring in 2 weeks. So, bye, y'all.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.